Renting and need more of your own space? Are you getting stressful letters or calls from the bank? Does your home require expensive repairs and you just don't have the funds to fix them? Regardless of whether you want to buy or sell, Taylor Andre of Thumbprint Realty is here to help. From saving your home from foreclosure to walking you through the process of becoming a first-time homeowner, Taylor makes real estate easy. With your best interests at heart, knowledge of the market, and a passion for people, Taylor is dedicated and motivated to serve you.
Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Taylor Andre, and I am determined and dedicated in assisting you in all of your real estate needs. Give me a call at 617-459-0041. Again, that number is 617-459-0041. Or you can email me at TAYLAANDRE@thumbprintrealty.com.
You are now listening to Spark FM.
Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I feel absolutely amazing. I got no sleep last night at all. I stayed up thinking about the most randomest things in the whole wide world. And the worst part about it is I thought about a lot of things that I don't want to happen and I don't want to take place, but allow them to play out in my head like a movie. What if we change this? For no reason. I could have done a million and one other things. But I was entertaining myself, clearly. I recall, I call back any and all nonsensical nonsense that I put out into the universe last night while thinking stupidity that I really don't want to happen. So all of that I thought about that's out in the universe, I call you back because no, that's that's not what I want. None of it. So there is so much going on in the news. It's going to be because I want to get through everything. So it might be like spitfire. And then we're going to talk about celibacy or what is it? Celibacy versus abstinence. Because I was reminded last night that it's been a year. And I haven't even thought about it. It has not crossed my mind. I'm lying. So Freaky Friday. I used to think when I was younger, I was like, yo, you ain't had sex in 20. What you mean you ain't had sex in 20 years? So we definitely going to talk about long spans of not having sex and how that worked out for you. And I used to think people older people were crazy like that. What do you mean? When you're younger, you rabbit time. When you get older, you yo, it's coin time. I'm trying to be Sonic out here. The hell? Pennies. How about that? Really not pennies, but billions. You understand what I mean, though. So mayhem ensues on Fox News as Geraldo posed a ghetto question to a black pundit. You know nothing about me, Leo Terrell shouted after he asked, when was the last time you was in the ghetto? And I think it was a really ignorant question to ask. I would have asked him the same thing. When's the last time you went to the ghetto? What the hell? How you gonna ask me that damn question? So it was on American Newsroom hosted by Bill Hemmer. Two pundits were discussing the St. Louis mayor-elect Tashura Jones' new crime plan for the city, which is experiencing record levels of violence. The plan includes employing more social workers to work with police, drug and mental health treatment, and mandatory mental health evaluations for police. I wish her the best. She seems very idealistic, but unrealistic in many regards, said Rivera of Jones's plan. Terrell said he was totally against her efforts, which he argued would basically give the keys to the city as far as criminals are concerned. Hammer then asked Terrell to weigh in on a comment that Jones made during the mayoral race. Jones told her opponent that while she appreciated white allies, she didn't believe that they all had lived experiences to be able to lead a majority-minority city. Terrell said that it was the most insulting, racist comment, that it was offensive for Jones to suggest she was better prepared to lead the city because she was black. And then he said, hey, Leo, when was the last time you were in the ghetto? And it's just how dare you say that? You know nothing about me. I've been a civil rights attorney for the last 30 years. I fought against discrimination for 30 years. And it just went all out. But the reason why I read this article is because for good rising, for women in particular, because this is the rise of the Black woman. The year of the Phoenix, yeah, it's us. And so the reason why this story is important to me is because Tashira Jones is absolutely right. So if you have these lived experiences and what community needs, like for crying out loud, Carla Montero, the social worker here in Boston, is running for city councilor at large because she's like, yo, the way the social services are set up, I'm entrenched in it. I'm engulfed in it. I work with these type of people. Like I work with people who are in need of services every single day. And I see what it is that the system is effed up. You have a system built by people who never utilized the system. So you have no idea. So I'm learning, I'm in my 101 phases of learning about progress. Like not progress. What is the word I'm looking for? Like the system in its whole. Somebody gonna text me, email me, tell me what the damn word I'm looking for is. But like the fact, like want from here to here to here, like standard operating guide type situation. If you put it, I don't want to stay on this topic for a long time, but if you are like, oh, this sounds like a good idea, but you keep on making decisions without the people who are directly affected's input, you keep basing what you think is a good idea based on your experience, and you've never lived inside of the bubble to know what it's like in the bubble and what the bubble actually needs. And so I say all that to say, I really, really hope and pray that we can see St. Louis as an example of what really needs to be done in cities across America when it comes to police officers, when it comes to crime, when it comes to the way we interact with our neighborhoods and the way, like what we've been doing for all of these years ain't working. We are insane to think if we keep doing the same thing, something gonna change. We have to do something different. We have to do something, what do you call her? He called her idealistic but unrealistic. Because listen, Narnia is not just Narnia. Narnia is a real place, and we could, if we would elevate ourselves to a new level, do things differently and see things change. And so with that being said, on to the next story. I'm not going to read that one. It's going to take too long. So Justin Fairfax accused former Virginia governor of treating him like George Floyd and Emmett Till. The gubernatorial candidate slams Terry McAuliffe for his reaction to the 2019 sexual assault accusations. And, it with no disrespect, here in the city of Boston, we have our own case that took place as far as an assault, not a sexual, but an assault where and one of them was a sexual assault. When you look at the Black men, do your due diligence in the history in the city of Boston in the last 10 years that have gone through, like, he did it, he sexually assaulted me, he kidnapped me, he did this, he did that. And it's just like, yo, cut off. Not innocent until proven guilty, but guilty until proven innocent. And we did an investigation and found that you did everything wrong. And so even still, fighting for their lives and fighting for, for their name. And there's never, one of the things that I was thinking about is I have a cousin who was recently had a case for sexual assault, and it was like an actual relationship that he had with a female. And he performed, it's Freaky Friday, right? He gave her head regularly while she was asleep, and he gave her head while she was asleep, and apparently she wasn't feeling it, and she got mad, and she like caught the case. But when it was time to actually come to court and say what she did, she wasn't able to do so. But there's no repercussions for putting it out there and ruining someone's credibility, the libel, the slander, and now having on your record that at some point in time you were arrested for being accused of this thing. I would like to see, just like you can't call the police on Black people and think that you're not going to be held accountable when you make false claims. I think false claims need to be taken seriously, and we've allowed false claims to just, she was mistaken, he was mistaken, they really didn't mean to. If I file a false police report, you know what's going to happen to me? I think everybody like level the playing field. Everybody should be held accountable for the words that came out of their mouth. And if you said that that thing happened and you know that it didn't, and we come to find out that it didn't, you should be held accountable for what you did. In other news, Alvin Kamara, who is a rookie, said that his contract money totaling $75 million has never been spent, and he lives off his endorsement contracts. The New Orleans Saints star said he's always known the value of $1. His name is Alvin Kamara. He is the star in the NFL, but he may consider other things after he retires, like teaching financial literacy. And so he's 25 years old. He said that he understands the value of $1. As a kid, I saw my mom work multiple jobs only to be able to afford the bare essentials. And that $75 million is in the bank, baby. Is in the bank, and he is just collecting interest on it and living a good life because he's living off his endorsements. And so I don't know if you've listened to the show earlier this week, but we were having conversations with a young lady with a magazine on Tuesday, and we discussed, like, as far as industry is concerned, we really need to take a hard look at what resources are out there for individuals like rappers and ball players, so that they can understand the value of their dollar. And I likened it to Ballers, the show called Ballers with The Rock. And like, I think it would be an amazing idea if that would be a dope business. Like, long story short, it would be a dope business. But on top of that, Master P. So Master P is actually speaking out against the fact what's going on with DMX, and said that he could have had more help had there been a union for. I'm looking for the article because it ties together and doesn't make sense to wait. Black people, or not just Black people, but rappers need a union so that they don't fall down rabbit holes, and as far as drugs are concerned and all these other issues. Where is Master P? Where is he? Well, I just told y'all the story. You could do your due diligence and pull it up yourself. I really wish I could find a damn story. I know I pulled it up. Okay. In other news, watch me find it later. I do want to know, are you guys watching the trial? How do you feel about the trial? Good rising, good rising. Look at that baby. Hey, Pooh. Hey, Pooh. It's triggering for me. It's triggering. I don't want to watch it. It feels like you guys know how I feel about the postcards that were sold for $1 of Black men and women being hung and burned, and them it being a token. For me, it's like, yes, it's really important. Just as the Rodney King case and the O.J. Simpson case, it's really important for us to understand the ways in which court works, and that, like, what you see on TV as far as TV shows and movies are concerned. Yeah, that's fictional. That's fake. That's writing it in for entertainment. We see in real life firsthand what it looks like when you commit a crime and you end up in front of a judge. Now, this might be to the extent, the furthest extent of it, but I really wish more young people would have to watch this so they can understand what it's like to go through court. And by young people, I mean like the quote unquote at-risk youth that are dealing with the things that they're currently going through that need social services for. Shout out to the St. Louis mayor. Get it, baby. Get it. Because that's exactly what we need. And I really hope that we can use St. Louis as an example 5 years from now, and we can change the entire system when it comes to the way we police communities, the way we educate people, and the way we deal with crime overall. In other news, a dad. So the reason why this story bothers me so much is, so the father is Vijender Chukhan. He's 40 years old. He was arrested by state troopers after they were called to the home near Roanoke, which is a suburb of Fort Worth. The Denton County Jail showed that he was charged with 2 counts of manslaughter. He was also charged with 3 counts of endangering a child and 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He was released on certainty bond on Sunday after his bail was set to $280,000. He was, listen, okay, so for those who don't know, I grew up on a farm. And after seeing a farm or a picture of a farm, I grew up on a garden. It was not a farm, it was a garden. And so I myself have been in the dump truck in the what's this thing called? I don't know what this thing's called. But there was plenty of times that if we're going down to the bog, you can get in the tractor and sit in the tractor or stand up and hold on to something. The tractor go like 2 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour. You really ain't going nowhere. But the babies 7 and 11 fell out of the bucket. That's what I was looking for. So the babies fell out the bucket and the daddy ran them over. Like, for me, arresting him was the last effing thing that should have been done. And in his picture, he looked in his mugshot, he's absolutely devastated. You could see like the frustration, like he killed his babies. It wasn't like he was like, oh, I just ran the kids over. They were in the bucket. They fell out. He ran them over. I can't believe that they arrested him. Like, they couldn't just leave him and let him be somber and sad and prayerfully at his home. And I understand the kids are gone, and I just for me, it was hard. It was so hard because I myself have been in the dumpster plenty of times. You know how many times my ass could have fell out the dumpster, got ran over? How many times? What was I, like 9 years old when I first used the lawnmower, the sit-on lawnmower? He should do it. Dr. King wasn't a millionaire. Master P is worth $200 million. I've been catching bits and pieces of the trial. Okay. You think Master P should do it? You think Master P should have like the whole financial literacy and be the union and create the union? I would love to see those two work together. With the financial literacy piece for all NFL players, like when you come in, I forgot what podcast I was listening to. But they were talking, it was Noriega and and Cameron. Yo, Cameron's so chocolate. I didn't even know Cameron was that chocolate. I thought he was light skinned. But Cameron is like a whole man now. He's a whole adult. Listening to that interview, they were talking about, when you're 24 years old, you got $200 million. You be going crazy. You don't know how to conduct yourself. Kanye West recently came out and somebody was like, what do you feel about being called turning your back on your people? For the culture. You turn your back on a culture. He said, hell yeah, I turn my back on a culture. Because the culture think the culture think you supposed to be buying foreigns and F&Bs. He was just like, yeah, I turn my back on a culture. You over here rapping about things that'll get you put in jail, but then you start in reform organizations. It don't match up. Yeah, I turn my back on a culture. Yo, when I tell you, I feel like Kanye West is coming back. I personally believe when Kanye lost his mom that he was going through a series of episodes of depression, and nobody was able to like properly identify it and get him the help that he needed. And he made a series of like bad judgments and and he really just needed help. And I feel like Kanye West coming back onto the railroad track. Like, he ain't derailed no more. And I absolutely love what he said and what he's saying. But coming back to this baby, as far as the daddy is concerned, my heart hurts. And then to give him a $280,000 bail. Like, that's stupid. And I truly believe it's because he's a black man. I can't say that indefinitely, but prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But They were in the bucket. It could have been me. It absolutely could have been me. And if I was on a farm right now, it could have been Baby Rain. Of real talk, because that's what you do. Stupid things, like you in the middle of nowhere. You know what I think about being on the back of Uncle Georgie's truck? He had one of those Toyota trucks that had the cover on it. You could take the cover on and you could put the cover off. And when that cover was off, all the kids was in the back of the truck. And I'm thinking like how we were driving on the bog, water on this side, briars on this side. We could have fell out and been effed up completely. And it just, I could not imagine for like, oh, can we get in the bucket? Daddy, can we get in the bucket? Yeah, you can get in the bucket. And for the devastation that he had to go through, and then for him to put him in jail. Same thing like the mother who didn't put the car seat, like she was rushing, she put the car seat in and she pushed the seat back, but the baby wasn't buckled in. The baby ended up dying in the car accident, and they charged her with manslaughter. Like, accidents are real, things happen. I don't think you should get jail time when you are. And in her picture, all you saw was the mascara on her face. And you just gonna arrest the woman who lost her child though, because she was the reason, because she didn't it was like endangerment of a child, safety of a child. I get it, but I don't. As a parent, I can't imagine what sitting in jail was like during that time, not being with your family. I digress. So I'm really excited about this because when you think about all of the foods, you think about the foods that you eat and all of the colors. Maybe you don't. I do. So when I'm thinking about the red, I'm like, which beetle blood is this? The yellows. What insect piss is this? You know, like, when you a weirdo like me, you read about different nerd stuff and you're like, so caramel coloring is like the DNA of a bug. Interesting. These are all insects, all these colors. And so there's a new kind of blue found in cabbage that could replace the synthetic food dye. And so when I read this, I got happy like a little kid. One, because the example that they showed was like some blue raspberry ice cream utilizing cabbage, and so you really ain't getting no nutrients. I'm lying, but you can trick yourself into thinking you eating a little bit of cabbage versus eating something that was built in a laboratory with beetle blood. I do love it. I think it's amazing. Scientists have spent decades searching for natural alternatives. Now, Pamela Denish at the University of California, Davis and her colleagues have found a pigment in red cabbage similar to the artificial food colorant Brilliant Blue FCF or the E133. And so the numbers represent the color, but it's like a It looks like a blue raspberry. Like it's a light-skinned blue raspberry. Not a dark skin, like a deep blue raspberry, but like a light blue raspberry type situation. In other news, I have to take a break and pay some bills. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on in the world. And shout out to former President George Bush, who in the commercial, he's talking about, you know what? I can't wait for Texas Stadium to open up with a full arena. Well, your wish came true, boo. I just think it's funny how it's in the thing. And I bet you he was somewhere VIP in the back.
You are now listening to Spark FM.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans, and soon they will be available to everyone.
This vaccine means hope. It will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
I want to go back to work and I want to be able to move around.
To visit with Michelle's mom, to hug her and see her on her birthday.
You know what I'm really looking forward to is going to opening day in Texas Ranger Stadium with a full stadium.
We've lost enough people and we've suffered enough damage.
In order to get rid of this pandemic, it's important for our fellow citizens to get vaccinated?
I'm getting vaccinated because we want this pandemic to end as soon as possible.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
So roll up your sleeve and do your part.
This is our shot.
Now it's up to you.
What's up, everybody? This is James Jimmy Hills, host of Java with Jimmy on Spark FM Online. Make sure you tune in every Monday and every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Also, follow Java with Jimmy on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And don't forget to go to Spark FM Online and download the app. Listen to Spark FM Online 24/7.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM. The all-new Spark FM. Spark FM. Log on to sparkfmonline.com.
Spark FM. I am Taylor Andre. Waking up with Taylor Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day. We link up at about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. I hope you do too on this beautiful sunny day that feels like it's going to be absolutely gorgeous outside. I'm ready for outside. I'm ready for beach. I'm ready for sun. I'm ready for sundresses. I'm ready for flip-flops. I'm ready for pom-pom shorts. I'm ready for all of it. All of it. So Diddy faces backlash. Yo, if you know anything about the music industry, I don't care how far removed you are from the music industry. If you know Diddy, you know he don't pay his artists. He ain't never paid his artists. None of them got paid. And so he wrote an open letter. And in this open letter to corporate America, he demanded equal play for Black creatives. And social media was like, so did you pay Mace? Has 112 gotten all their money yet? Yo, what was the other group? It was the girl group that he put together on the TV show. And they were like, yo, he didn't pay us. Was it Toto ain't get paid? Ain't nobody get paid. Diddy ain't paid nobody. So you speaking to yourself, and yo, this was the meme, right? Is it in this article or is it in another article that I saw? No, it's another article that I saw. So you know the meme where it's Spider-Man and he's pointing and it's Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man? And it was like, Diddy demands corporate America to pay Blacks equally. Diddy talking to himself. I was like, yeah. Yo, Puff. Yo, pay Mason and publish the letter again. That's what I want you to do. That would be really dope. If he, because you know he rich as hell. Shoot, just it's pennies to you. Pay them a couple pennies, a couple coins. You know, God put it on my heart. Give it to Jesus type situation. You know, and then come back and write that letter again so we can have some substance behind it, because it's absolutely true. Black creatives do need to be paid, and we need to be paid equally across the board. And it's crazy when there was an entire hold on 1 minute. Yes, Javi. You're welcome. You good? Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 And thank you allowing me the time and space I needed to grow. Amen. I hope you have an amazing day. All right. I love it when my baby daddy calls me. Thank you for letting me be a father. Thank you for I used to be crazy. I saw TikTok, right? So in the TikTok, she was just like, listen, y'all mothers talking about something. Oh, and my thing was, y'all ain't finna play house with my kids. Like, y'all ain't about to have boyfriend, girlfriend play house with my kids. And I was absolutely attached. My identity was mom. I had no other, when I had an Ari at 20, I had a Sari at 22. My identity was attached to mom. And so if I wasn't being a mom, then who was I? And so him being a father impeded on my identity of being a mom. And so listen, this is years of growth, baby. This is years of like shadow work. This is years of like recognizing toxicity. This is years and years of growth. So trust and believe I ain't always been this rational. And in many aspects, I am still irrational. But there has been a lot of growth in me. And it's crazy. Like the person you were when you were younger doesn't always, like, you don't have to be that person anymore. And I think we as humans get so attached, and I say humans because it's a human trait. We get so attached to the habit that we, in the cycle, and when you are attached to that identity, it's really difficult for you to remove yourself from this space and allow yourself the room to grow into anything and everything that you possibly can. And so I say all that to say, I do appreciate it when he calls me and he recognizes the growth, like outwardly or openly or not really publicly. But it's one thing to sit to yourself like, damn, Taylor's not the same. And it's completely different to pick up the phone and like, yo, I just want to recognize where you were and where you are. And so thank you for rocking with me. If you are a longtime follower, or if not, if you are a new follower, I had a video that went a little viral, and it was about baby mothers, like crazy baby mothers. And the example that I was going to give about the TikTok, and she was like, yo, I know, take it. She putting on her lashes, she putting on her makeup, she getting dressed. She was like, I'm going outside. Yes, you can take your kids. Come get them. I'll drop them off. I don't have any clothes. I'll buy some. I don't have no food. I'll bring some. They don't have no toys. I'll bring the toy box. Like, you ain't finna get out of this. I'm going outside. And it wasn't until he used to take the kids and I would be in the house sad and mad and angry and like, how could I sabotage his life type situation? Like, Sarah, we being real, right? We being transparent. I was crazy. And so instead of, when I was just like, yo, this is insane for me to be like worried about him. I ain't got no kids. I could be out here doing things. So I went ahead and started living my life and it hit different. I was like, what? What the heck? There is no way I am going to continue on this path of being bothered by whatever. Y'all have fun with daddy this weekend? Good. Y'all going back this next weekend? Like, I started doing things different in life. You get some type of clarity. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. But it's also learned behavior because I've had this conversation with my mom. Whenever I didn't bring home the best grades, that prohibited me from having the relationship with my father. That prohibited me from seeing my dad, which wasn't just my dad, but the entire other half of my family. And so my cousins, my uncles. And so even though, that was an incentive, grades were an incentive to go see my daddy, it was just like, how you use my behavior. I'm an ass right now because you won't let me see my daddy. If I had a man in my life, it might be a little different, don't you think? Then you get slapped and your cheeks get caught to your braces. So that's a real thing. Gail made that happen. Gail don't play. Gail done knocked out a couple teeth, but we ain't gonna say nothing. We gonna leave that there. So shout out to Diddy. I feel he gonna come out of pocket and go ahead and pay Mason total and 112. And what was it? Danity Kane? Was it Danity Kane? And some other people that Diddy owe. He's like, nah, I built a whole platform for you. Go get me some cheesecake. And then he's going to come back out with this letter. Or at least I'm going to pray for so we can all actually get paid. I am super excited because Black Eyed Peas founder will.i.am introduces a face mask that has Bluetooth, has speaker, like the ability for you to be able to talk inside. Because with these masks on, even with AirPods, people can't hear you. It'd be mad muffled. Oh, gosh. Yes, Bubs.
Hi, Mother. I have a quick question.
Yes, Bubs.
I totally forgot about it, but Elena and I made a plan. Obviously, we were going to ask you about it, but I totally forgot that we even made a plan for it. To go get ice cream today with Miss Cabrera. And I was wondering...
That's a teacher or that's the lady at the front desk?
A teacher.
What she teach?
If you want to, she teaches Composition 9. If you want to talk to her, I can give her your number, and she'll probably call you during lunch.
That's fine. Just have her send me a text message.
Okay. She said that she's fine with dropping Elena off at home, like dropping Elena off at her house and me off at mine.
Okay, so just turn your location on and send it to me.
Okay.
Okay, I love you. Have so much fun today. And can you please bring Snow back outside and clean up whatever mess she made?
I will.
Okay, then make Anari do it. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Okay, wait, Mama, I'm gonna have her text you. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. So I made a plan. Black Eyed Peas founder will.i.am introduces a face mask with headphones and Bluetooth capabilities, and it is the Uper mask. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's XUPER, and it looks amazing, and I want one. And I'm mad because I was sitting at home thinking how annoyed I was trying to listen to people who were talking with a mask on the phone when they're out in public, and how annoying it is when people can't hear me because I have a mask on in public on the phone. And for him to go ahead and create a mask with all, like, it has your headphones, you got the Bluetooth, you good, and it's like fashionable too. So yeah, get money. But maybe he's missing something. Maybe there's a filter so you don't smell your own breath. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, the market is not saturated. So if that's something you're interested in, don't think just because one person come out with it that another person can't come out with it. And I say that because there was a video that came out, I want to say early into the pandemic, and the girl lifted up her thing and put the straw in and was sucking and then put it back down. So she was able to drink safely with her mask on without taking her mask off. And I was like, yo, that's mad dope. And then there was like 3 other businesses that came out with the same thing. The market ain't saturated. You better come for yours. Get it. So United Airlines pledges $1.2 million to diversify 50% of graduates with women or people of color. They already have enough white women. But I'm really excited that this is even a conversation. And so I would like to take... He said it's $300 on that mask. All right, then you come out with one that's for $150, and the people who don't want to spend $300, like, you have to. Good rising. How are you, yo? But you have to understand, Mike. $300 for that mask seemed like a lot of money to you and to me. But what about the people who spend $500 on a belt? I ain't finna spend $500 on a belt, but there's plenty of pictures on the Instagram. I could point out a $500 belt to you, and $700 shoes, and $1,500 bags. What's a $300 mask? So you come out with your own mask that's for, instead of $300, it's $150. You don't have to look like kids. It just gotta have the same. In my head, I'm thinking of like what the bootleg version, what the spirit version looks like. Listen, I don't care how hard life is. I will drive before I take a spirit flight. I will listen. You want to take this road trip? I'll take a road trip real quick. I ain't never scared of the road. Good rising, Verla. Is that how I say it? Verla, nice to meet you. I'm super excited to have a new viewer. So I am Tayla Andre. Waking Up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up or the time that you watch this video, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. What that means is I am going to question anything and everything that happens on earth. I'm an inquisitive mind. I don't believe everything at face value. I want more information. And we talk about anything and everything. And so from Motivational Monday, where we have inspiration and motivation and affirmations, and then on Friday, where we just be getting icked down and ussy popping on a handstand type situation. Like, so we go in. I'm a whole human. I conduct myself as a whole human. I am spiritual. I am freaky. I am intelligent. Like, I don't have to be one thing, and I refuse to conduct myself as if I can only check one box. And so we discuss all in every conversation with that mind frame. And so Verla. Okay, good. I did say it correctly. Nice to meet you too. And so with that being said, going back to the news, because we have a couple more minutes to run through these news really quickly, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about celibacy versus abstinence. Long story short, not having sex. And how weird it is for me that people could have went 10 and 5 and 15 years of not having sex. I'm like, you don't masturbate? Like, how? Your libido be like, nah, I'm good. Bye. Have a good day. I don't need nothing. Keke Palmer Instagram video landed her an Amazon partnership. Get it, baby girl. Get it. And so she is an actress. She secured another bag with an exclusive media partnership with Amazon that became because of a viral content that she created for her own social media. And so she is going to be releasing and producing short stories through Amazon Originals. Variety reports. The stories are based around characters Palmer introduced through her acclaimed sketch comedy videos posted on Instagram. She will recreate the roles in an Audible audiobook this coming fall. And I love it. Do what you do, baby. She has always been unapologetic in everything that she does. She never has she never sought out any type of validation. When people came for her, she was like next. Like, there was no clapbacks, no nothing. She always kept it moving, and she always did what was best for her. And I love her energy. I love what she's doing with herself. Target pledges to commit $2 billion towards Black-owned businesses and racial equity effort. And so stay on Target. Keep Googling Target. Find out what grants are coming out. Find out how you can get your product into Target. As far as Walmart is concerned, Walmart has the Walmart Marketplace. I utilize the Marketplace in order to get the book online. And so Verla, I am the author of Finally Home, the step-by-step guide for people preparing for first-time home ownership. I am a real estate agent. I spend over 60% of my time educating my clients on just what should be already taught in schools, what should be taught in math class, because in math class, you are not going into the world doing geometry. That's not what's happening, but you are going into the world signing up for student loans, and you have no understanding of them. You are signing up for high interest on those student loans. And yes, I do believe 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6% on a student loan federal situation, when you can get a Fannie Mae home loan for 2.5%, but yet my Sally Mae is at 6%. That's highway robbery. That's rape. It's absolutely insane to me. And so we go in the book. A good portion of the book goes through credit and how you can clean and fix your credit on your own. There are companies out here that do charge you, and I can assist if that's what you need. But I'd rather give you the knowledge is power and the tools you need in order to fish for yourself so you can clean your credit on your own. The book also has a history. It goes through the history of Black America in home ownership, all the way from chattel slavery to the fact that we here today are receiving 50% less than our white counterparts during appraisals. And so the book is absolutely amazing. I say it because I wrote it, but it's also in Spanish. It's an audiobook in Spanish. We're working on the English course right now. And when I am finished by the end of 2021, it will be in 3 languages for the book, the ebook, the audiobook, and the course that you can just go through. And I am praying to God that we can go ahead and work with the state and take out whatever it is that they need us to take out so we can make the course something that people can have and hold for their first time home ownership certificate. And so when 2 or more touch and agree, there he will be, or really she, because I believe God is a girl. And so with that being said, in other news, I just really want you to follow Target and keep paying attention to what's going on, because the grants are going to come out. They're going to have all types of partnerships with small businesses. And so there's like the Black community is getting money from corporations, and the money is out here. Get it, baby. If you have a business. So Sephora, Old Navy, and Macy's joined the 15% pledge initiative, in which they and others have pledged to commit 15% of shelf space to Black-owned businesses. And so that is huge. 15%, when once upon a time we had 0. And so I know it's not a lofty goal, and I love lofty goals. Like, let's go above and beyond. Why it can't be 50%? You know, I'm glad we're at 15%, especially with these big names, because 15% when you're a Macy's, when you're a Old Navy, when you're a Sephora, means there's plenty of space for all of us. And so in my kumbaya moment, we shall overcome and get money. Scientists can now diagnose depression with a blood test. I think this is dope. Having family members that suffer from severe depression, bipolar disorder, manic depression, like, it is amazing to see how science is doing the right thing. And so we read so many stories, just like this super dog that can run 300 miles, and it's just like Black Mirror. They about to be weaponized in a minute. But it's when we do use science for good, that is what I'm here for. And so the research took place over the course of 4 years and followed the treatment of 300 individuals. While 300 is a modest size for a study, it's a significant one given the span of time that they used. And so I am really excited about this, and will continue to follow this, because I had depression. It's not something that I talked about, but after I had baby Rain, what is it when you have a kid postpartum? Like, postpartum depression is real. And I had it with Anari and didn't know, and was in complete denial. And though it was like, Tayla, I think, and it was just like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's crazy. I don't want to kill my kid. But it was like, it's so much. That was like one for Anari. With baby Rain, I was like, I am sad and my hormones are all over the place. I recognize this, and I'm going to go sit outside in the sun and take a moment to myself. And so, like, there's absolutely growth in science, and I love where we are. So I will be following this and seeing how this will play out in as far as healthcare is concerned. There was an article that I wanted to read to you. I tried to Google it and couldn't find it, but it was like a demand that we don't want military grade weapons. We need military grade healthcare. And that was so powerful to me, because it's like, yo, we're so focused on the wrong thing. What if we, and then I can hear Steve Wilson in my head, Tayla, we need the police. Tayla, we need guns. Tayla, not everything's kumbaya. I get it. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms issues an executive order against Georgia voting law. And so, she a beast. She don't play no games. That's auntie to the fullest. She said that she does not have the authority to impact the state election laws. Her executive order will not change any of the new requirements in the bill. The orders are mostly focus on voter education and staff training through her diversity, equity, and inclusion. The DEI office will work to assist residents with information on the new voting laws and how to obtain necessary identification to vote. The voting restrictions of SB 202 will disproportionately impact Atlanta residents, particularly in communities of color and other minority groups. This administrative order is designed to do what those in majority of the state legislator did not: expand access to our right to vote. And so I love her. I love the outside of the box thinking. I love how, shout out to St. Louis, thinking outside of the box, doing things differently. And so the executive order will provide training to staff members on early absentee and in-person voting to help communicate the information to city residents. The order will also add a QR code that will direct residents to voter registration information and other related information. So you just take a picture with your damn camera and you have everything you need in order to properly get you on the path to voting. I want to give a huge shout out to this young man. He's an executive of Black-owned travel, social networking, and I love it. So it's a Black-owned app that is called Fly Life, FLYLYFE. Members can arrive in a new city and simply ask for a personal digital assistance where hotspots, shopping, and restaurants are located. The monthly membership fees range anywhere from $20 a month to $150 a month. Potential customers are being invited to join a community of international travel influencers from around the world to book luxury travel plus events directly from their phones or laptops. I was reading an article earlier that was just like, we didn't have, it was on like a Fox. I don't need to read with people who agree with me. I want to read what everyone who doesn't agree with me is saying. And so Fox was like, early voter registration wasn't popular until 2020. Yeah, because people found out that they could do something and they were like, oh, I ain't got to go into the office. This meeting could have been a Zoom. Okay, let me put on this t-shirt real quick, be naked from the bottom down. You know what else wasn't popping in 2020? Zoom meetings. So yes, once people understand that they don't have to leave work and they can conveniently vote early, I don't know why you itching and complaining over nonsense. I digress. So NBA All-Star Carmelo Anthony launches a global content company called the Creative 7. I am excited for him. He's 36 years old and he announced his partnership on his Instagram page. I love us doing dope things, period. So we're going to leave that there. You can look it up for yourself. What else did I wanted to read? Okay, so Colorado law professor Suzette Malkovo could become the first Black woman appointed to the 10th Circuit Federal Court. If selected, her appointment will likely be historic for Black and LGBTQI communities. I'm so sorry if I messed that up. That was not on purpose. And Regina Rodriguez, nominated by President Biden to serve on the federal bench in Colorado. Listen, these Black women are taking over. And for me, Latinos are Black. Unless you are Spanish, like actually from Spain, and you're actually white, you're a Negro to me. So students across the country are advocating for schools to implement a stronger Black history curriculum because Black history is American history. We were not slaves. We were captured and brought here against our will. I saw a meme earlier who was just like, when somebody comes into your country, doesn't speak the language, takes your land, takes your job, and says, hey, I belong here. And then it was a woman with a very indigenous name. And she was like, when Europeans come to your country, take your land, genocide your whole people, tell you that your language cannot be spoken, and then say, I demand to be here. I deserve to be here. Hashtag America. Oop. Black women-owned brokerage puts a collaboration over a competition. And so I was reading this because Tiffany Harris and Brandy Hawkins launched Harris and Hawkins & Co., a Black-owned, women-owned boutique brokerage in Baltimore City. And I love how, instead of it's dope. It's dope. I love it. I love the concept of Black women collaborating and figuring out how can we work together. There are not too many Black women in real estate. And one of my mentors, Monica Koss, was the first Black commercial broker in Massachusetts in 2008. The first. And so I found it. So this is the Master P. DMX is an icon. I hate that we have to wait until something like this happens to one of these guys or to one of us before everyone really starts saying how much they care and how much they love us. I mean, we got to figure out how to prevent that. Drugs done killed a lot of our great ones and sent a lot of them to prison. I'm praying for DMX and his family, and I hope that they start celebrating these icons while they're alive. Imagine all the stuff we could have prevented for DMX if we would have helped him. And so absolutely, there does need to be a union. We do need to have a conversation. But in that same vein, one of the things that I really would like for us to do right here, right now, with however many people are on the live now and whoever is watching this at a later date. So DMX currently is in the hospital. He is still alive. And we have to understand that energy is real. Even though you can't see electricity, doesn't mean electricity is not real. Energy is as real as you being able to touch yourself, baby, because you are literally a ball of energy. And so with that being said, with everybody putting out, oh, R.I.P. DMX, I'm so sad he's gone. I'm so sad he's dead. He's brain dead. He's not doing this and he's not doing that. And I just saw a picture of him doing like a trying to do a peace sign or trying to do a something. So he had a little bit of cognition within him. And so if we have more people that are like, DMX is healthy, DMX is fine, DMX has everything he needs in his body in order for his body to heal himself. Like, those are the words of affirmations that we need to be saying, and not, oh, R.I.P. DMX. And I read an article that the family was just like, yo, we've been in the hospital this whole time. You know, no one, we're in the hospital. I go ahead and I turn it on the TV. They talking about he overdosed. The doctor ain't said he overdosed. Who's saying they overdosed? The family is now looking at suing. And again, if you put out that energy, yes, DMX suffered a heart attack because of a drug overdose. All that energy going out. And they're like, yo, first, it had nothing to do with drugs. Second, he just recently got the vaccine days before he had a heart attack. What? Stop. Wait a minute. And so I just really would like us to take a moment to just like send healing vibes to DMX. Whatever it is that his body needs, his body has in order for him to be healed in the way in which his body needs to be healed. And I just want us to send healing vibes to him and loving vibes to his family and encouragement to all those that are prematurely posting like, he's dead, R.I.P. No, he's not. He's alive. We don't know. We don't know the facts. And if family members are saying it's not drugs and the doctors aren't saying it's not drugs, then I hope they sue the F out of the media for putting that out there and for all of that energy being stirred up, because that is important. And so we came to the top of the hour. I got through a good portion of everything that I wanted to talk about. Negative energy. Absolutely. It is negative energy, and it doesn't need to be out there because it is being caught by somebody. And so really quick, let me run through it. Louisiana governor grants rapper McKinley Mac Phillips clemency. The former No Limit rapper, who has long maintained his innocence, could soon be free after serving 21 years of a 30-year life sentence. 21 years, B? That was just the other day. Impossible Foods is preparing for a public listing, which could have the U.S. plant-based burger maker around $10 billion or more. I don't know very much about stock, but I do. I'm trying to get in when I fit in. I don't know who's going to be the next Amazon, but I'm about to be on it. And my bank account about to be beyond. And so I want all of us to get on the good foot. I don't know what it is that you love, but Paul Mary told us to invest in the things that we enjoy and invest in the things that we spend money in. And so that is what I want you to focus on, because I am not anything financial, nothing, and do not take my advice. I am just reading a story. I'm super excited to announce that Prince's estate estate, not whoever owns his records, but Prince's estate releases a new album of unreleased tracks in July. Welcome to America, due in July, will be heard by the public for the first time Sunday night on 60 Minutos. And so I'm super excited for that, because that means all of that money that the family lost during the fact that Prince's music was stolen, now they can begin collecting some benefits, reaping some financial reward off of Prince's legacy. Last but not least, that is not a fentanyl overdose. That is somebody begging to breathe. A medical expert expresses doubt that drugs played a role in George Floyd's death during the day 9 of the trial. And so somebody asked me about it, and I said, listen, if that man went beyond his with his day, clearly he was addicted to it, right? And so he was taking them every day. He lived every day, right? And had he not had a knee on his neck, would he live to the end of that day? Oh yeah, he would have. Okay, then I guess we already have our answer. I saw a TikTok, and the medical expert said, it wasn't Tayla, it's not my feelings, it's not my emotion. The medical expert said that is not a fentanyl overdose. That is somebody trying to breathe. And so I saw the video of George Floyd's sister on the TMZ. The Shade Room, the roommates, Shade Rooms, that one. And she was talking about, like, I can't even bring myself to listen to his cry for help. And I have a good feeling we're going to win this. She said, because there were witnesses on the sideline that were connected and felt it. And like, because of those witnesses and because of their testimony, I truly believe we're going to win this one. And so we already discussed how I can't watch the trial, but if that's what you're watching, please keep us posted. With that being said, I am Tayla Andre. Waking up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. We're going to take a really quick break, and then we're going to come back and let's talk about sex, baby.
The all-new Spark FM. Spark FM. Log on to sparkfmonline.com.
What's up, everybody? This is James Jimmy Hills, host of Java with Jimmy on Spark FM Online. Make sure you tune in every Monday and every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Also, follow Java with Jimmy on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And don't forget to go to Spark FM Online and download the app. Listen to Spark FM Online 24/7.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
Are you tired of renting and need more of your own space? Are you getting stressful letters or calls from the bank? Does your home require expensive repairs and you just don't have the funds to fix them? Regardless of whether you want to buy or sell, Tayla Andre of Thumbprint Realty is here to help. From saving your home from foreclosure to walking you through the process of becoming a first-time homeowner, Tayla makes real estate easy. With your best interests at heart, knowledge of the market, and a passion for people, Tayla is dedicated and motivated to serve you.
Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Tayla Andre, and I am determined and dedicated in assisting you in all of your real estate needs. Give me a call at 617-459-0041. Again, that number is 617-459-0041. Or you can email me at TAYLAANDRE@thumbprintrealty.com.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Hi, Grandma. Can Nina come over for dinner?
Sure. I've been meaning to ask you, what would happen if someone offered you a drink?
Grandma!
If anyone ever does, I want you to say, no, I have too much respect for my family and I don't want to get in trouble.
I promise, Grandma.
They really do hear you.
For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. That's underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. This message brought to you by SAMHSA and this station.
The all-new Spark FM. Spark FM. Log on to sparkfmonline.com.
I am Tayla Andre. Waking up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day. We link up at about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. Everything Tayla Andre, TaylaAndre, from the Finally Home step-by-step guide for people preparing for first-time home ownership, from the merchandise Awakening My Third Eye, Soul Naked Black Woman Aligning Her Chakras, Suck My Sacral Chakra, and Ride My Root Chakra. All those can be found on the website and so much more. I'm happy. I'm really happy today. I'm super sleepy, so I don't know why I'm so happy, but I am. And I'm really excited about today's conversation because I want to, can we please talk? Can we talk? I would like to talk about celibacy. How long has it been? How long has it been, or the longest that you've been able not to have sex? And how did you do that? Not really, how did you do that? How did that make you feel? Did you realize, in the beginning, I was really cranky. I was so cranky. Yo, when they be talking trash, she needs some D in her life. Yo, that'd be real. It'd be really real. It'd be so real. How long have you gone? And I'm wondering if we should frame it like gone without an orgasm, or how long have you gone without sex? And so I am coming into my older age, not really, but yeah. So I'm coming into an age where I am no longer satisfied with masturbation. It doesn't, I'm good. It's like whack sex. You're like, no, thank you. I'd rather not. I just want to be clear. I'm not whack with me. It doesn't do anything for me anymore. I feel like that was in my younger years. And now I go all out. We do bubble baths. We do candles. We do music. And by I said me, myself, and I, we is not boring. We do dress up. We do everything for we. And now it's just yes, let's do the bubble bath. Let's do the wine. Let's do the candle. But that's not necessary. We don't have to do all that. Let's go to sleep. Let's get some work done. Let's be proactive with our time. How long has it been since you had some? Or how long has it been that you've been able to go? So for me, it was brought up that it's been a year, and I didn't realize it was that long. And the reason why I didn't realize it was that long is because my focus is different, and that's not what I'm focused on, and that's not what I'm concerned with. And so it was never an issue. It was never a problem. And as a younger person, and you hear elders I ain't had sex in 3 years. 3 years. What the hell? How you do that? Why would you do that? I'm confused. And I was, as a kid, I was like, yo, if it wasn't an outside source, it was me once a day. once a day. So how are you 3 years later? But what you do know that your libido, which dictates your level or the heightenedness of your sexuality, your libido, that's ooh, I want to be a rabbit, or nah, I'm good, it can go up and down. So it's if you don't use it, you lose it type situation. If you don't have sex, you have no desire to have sex. But after you have some once, you want it over and over and over and over. It's like you become a fiend. Like, oh yeah, I remember that feeling. I want it back. I want that old thing back. Bring it back. Give it to me. But when you don't have it, you don't miss it. And I'm trying to tell you, I did not understand that part. Celibacy. So I didn't understand the difference between celibacy and abstinence. So they have been used interchangeably for years, but celibacy is the vow that you are not going to have sex for an extended period of time, where abstinence refers to the decision not to have penetrative sex. So does that mean that you still give and take orals? I had questions. And so that's why I looked it up. So where does celibacy and abstinence are not the same thing? They're two separate things. Chastity and celibacy are usually intertwined, especially if you're taking a vow of celibacy for religious or cultural reasons. People who are chaste make the conscious decision to control their thoughts as well as their actions as a way to signal purity or virtue. In some religions, such as the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, this extends only until marriage. Oftentimes, religious leaders promise lifetime chastity as a way to honor their commitment to their faith. So hold on, I don't mean to be disrespectful in no way, but this is going to sound real disrespectful. So when popes and cardinals and what are they called? They're not called pastors or ministers. What are they called? Priests. So when priests are out here molesting little boys, are they engaging in like the whole oral sex aspect because it's not penetration, so they feel like it's okay? One of the things that I never understood was the European statue with the man and the child sucking on his thing. So that hold on, I'm not looking for child abuse. Hold on, this is not what I was looking for. Yo, it said warning, child abuse imagery is illegal. That's not what I'm looking for. I do not want to be called by the FCC. That is not what I was looking. I was looking for the statue. It's a real life statue. It looks like it's in marble. It's on the top of a building, and it's like multiple. It's like the priest. It's not a priest. I'm lying. It's a male, clearly a male, who's lifting up his robe, and a little boy is on his knees. If you can. They damn near blocked the computer. I can't search for nothing. Yo, if y'all knew what message just popped up, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. Please look for it yourself, and you might want to use different words because I clearly just set off an alarm. But there is a statue. It does exist. I have seen it multiple times throughout the years, and I forgot where it is located, but I never understood why that statue still exists or why that statue was even created, period. And it's not per se a statue, but carvings inside of a building. And you can tell that it's at the top of the building because it's like you can see the sky. So it's not all the way up. Okay, that took a terrible turn for the worse. Can you engage in any physical activity at all? So solo masturbation, for some, masturbation is a way to be sexually satisfied without breaking the commitment of celibacy. It can also be a way to get to know your body on a deeper level, which is like, if we can take 5 seconds to talk about masturbation. So I have had the very uncomfortable conversation with my own children about masturbation because I think you talk about everything else with your kids. Like we're now putting restrictions on what needs to be discussed. I think it all needs to be talked about. But there are so many people and women, and I tell the story all the time. So I used to sell sex toys, and I was a passion party representative, and a lot of the parties had older women, and older women would always tell me that they never had an orgasm. And for me, if you've never had an orgasm, like you've never explored yourself, like as a woman, how are you not familiar with what you like and what you desire and what feels good and what you don't like and how you wish to be touched if you don't you yourself touch yourself? And so I'm not afraid to talk about sex. And so she was like, do you mind, like, I feel a little uncomfortable talking about it here. Do you mind if I call you? I was like, yeah, sure. So I gave her my number and we ended up chatting it up. And I gave her some tips, being very explicit, being very clear, step-by-step guide to self-masturbation. And of course, she had guided help with a toy. And when I tell you, I got a call in the middle of the night. Tayla, this Shirley. Like, for real. Like, she seriously, it was like at 11 o'clock at night. And she was like, I never knew I was married to my husband for da-da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, her husband died. And so she wasn't engaged in any other type of like activities or relations. And so she was engaging with herself. And this was the first time. And she was we're going to call her Miss Shirley. So Miss Shirley was well off into her 60s and never had an orgasm. So I say that to say, be friendly with yourself. You can also do masturbation with a partner, and it's called outer course. On the other hand, some people who choose to be celibate still engage in some physical activities, which is outer course, a non-penetrative sexual activity. Some define outer course as anything that doesn't include penis in vagina penetration. Others define outer course as anything that doesn't include any penetration at all. And for those who consider this type of penetration outer course, it could also include like toys and fingers and anal and oral. While outer course likely won't lead to pregnancy, for some, such as oral and anal, it can pose the risk of sexually transmitted infections. And so, going back to the Freaky Friday about elongated labias. And so I had to do some deeper digging, and I realized that an elongated labia was not just for sex, but for outer course as well. And so because the lips are so like long and like long, for those who don't know, we did a show on elongated labias and how men were referring to it as Arby's beef sausage by the way that it looks, because it's like super droopy, and it was, a complete turnoff. But in African countries, I forgot the African country. Anybody remember what African country it was? But it's like they practice elongating the labia, aka elongating your lips. So having long lips or lips that droop down instead of being the perfect ones that touch and you open them like a flower. They're like absolutely long and quote unquote disgusting looking because they look like Arby's beef. And so what I learned was it wasn't just the penetrative sex that made elongated labias feel amazing. But remember when the older lady was like, if he can't make me make water, I throw him under the bed? And so it's the outer course, like the actual like grinding on a penis type situation with your lips hugging it like a whole sausage. And I'd be down for that. Like just watching. So I saw a really dope porn of it and I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it now, because when you hear it and someone describes it, it's completely different from when you get a visual and you're like, oh, I F's with that. Celibacy isn't always motivated by religion. Some people are born into or adopt beliefs that encourage or require celibacy as part of their practice. And I know, like, as far as if you do any type of cleanse or if you're fasting, sometimes celibacy can be a form of fasting, especially if you are someone who engages regularly and because fasting doesn't always mean food. You know that, right? You can fast from TV. You can fast from internet. You can fast from social media. You can fast from anything. So while you're fasting, there are people who do sexual fast. And so for 30 days, they won't engage in sex or won't have sex or won't have like sexual thoughts. And instead, they'll use that time to worship, or use that time to meditate, or use that time. When I was cleansing, I used that time to write. Like whenever I was super freaking horny, I would just use that time to write. And so it's all, per person. For someone who's like, so I had a conversation about this, and one of my friends was just like, I didn't choose celibacy. I didn't choose not to have sex. What happened was I wasn't willing to compromise, and I wasn't willing to have sex with somebody who didn't want the same things that I wanted. I wasn't in the mood for one night stands, and I didn't want aimless sex. And so I didn't choose like, oh, I'm just going to be celibate. I was waiting for somebody of substance so we could build something and I could, move forward. But it just... And now 2 years later, she still ain't had no penis because she ain't found somebody who's equally yoked. And I was like, hold on, but are you looking to get married? She was like, it don't even have to be marriage. Like we could date. We can be in like a situationship. It don't necessarily have to be marriage, but I don't have time to waste my time. And I respect that. I completely understand. And so it doesn't always have to be a religious factor. It could be something that you fall into. As far as celibacy is concerned, they're saying that the benefits of celibacy, of course, you can't get an STD, you can't get an STI, you won't get pregnant. That's important. It reduces the amount of money spent on contraception, such as condoms and other forms of birth control, or the pill, or an IUD. It may provide space for you to get to know your partner outside of sexuality. And so there was a situationship that I was in where it was like, like our whole situation, mind you, when you're young, your whole situation be about sex anyways, right? So but the whole situation was about sex, and I was like, hold on, but I need to know if effing with you is effing with you because the D is good, or if I'm effing with you because I'm effing with you. And so that was something that I had to reevaluate. And so we took like some time of celibacy, and we realized we really didn't like each other. Yeah, that's a real thing though. I can be honest. I'll be transparent. We really didn't even like each other at all. And so, after you have that conversation, we were able to part ways, and it was absolutely amazing. I could still call today and be like, hey, how you doing? No lost feelings. You feel me? So, there are benefits. It provides with you to be able to get to know yourself better, and it provides you time to get to know your partner better. And so would you engage in, based on who you're dating now, would you ever consider that? Would you ever taking like a 30-day celibacy, and instead of having sex, we talk? Instead of having sex, we do a game night. Instead of having sex, we watch a movie. Well, Netflix and chills don't really work well. You start watching a movie, next thing you know, what Martin Lawrence say when Martin Lawrence was talking about the masturbate watching Jimmy Griffin, what the boy name is? He said the police officer. He was watching the police officer. You gonna get your ass, Mr. Griffin. No, chilling like mama. Chilling like mama. Yo, and then he ended up playing with himself. That Netflix and chill ain't always where you want to be, but to be able to take that time out and to say we're not going to have sex, and when we do have the urges to have sex, we are going to do this thing instead, can really help you figure out whether or not you mess with this person because you mess with them and there's good vibes and you guys can build together, or whether or not it is strictly built on busting a nut. And some of us be in long-term relations. I recognize my voice is changing. I see you. You can either, let me reframe. A lot of us end up in marriages, relationships, situationships, and baby daddy, baby mama situations because the sex was absolutely amazing. And I truly believe if we hold ourselves accountable and have real conversations with ourselves and with our partners and put sex on the side and actually engage in conversations. And I'm not talking to people who like regularly engage in conversations. I'm talking like I got friends who only talk to people like they get a phone call or a text message. They already know what the phone call or the text message mean. They do the thing. And that's it. And it'd be like, oh, I love him. He's so sweet. Like he's real dope. He's real. Like y'all ain't never been on a date. Like not once. Y'all do not talk on the phone. There is no form of communication ever. So what exactly is dope about it other than the D? Other than that, it can also help you. So this is exactly, it can help you further understand the difference between physical and emotional attraction. And it also frees up more time for your career, for your friendship, and for your family. And so having celibacy or going a long period of time without having sex, could work wonders for your life. You know what? I want to pay this bill really quickly because I want to go search for this article that I was reading about how celibacy can help you increase like your manifestations as well as masturbation and manifestation. So we're going to go pay these bills really quickly. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
The all-new Spark FM. Spark FM. Log on to sparkfmonline.com.
What's up, everybody? This is James Jimmy Hills, host of Java with Jimmy on Spark FM Online. Make sure you tune in every Monday and every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Also, follow Java with Jimmy on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And don't forget to go to Spark FM Online and download the app. Listen to Spark FM Online 24/7.
Igniting the airwaves. Spark FM.
Are you tired of renting and need more of your own space? Are you getting stressful letters or calls from the bank? Does your home require expensive repairs and you just don't have the funds to fix them? Regardless of whether you want to buy or sell, Tayla Andre of Thumbprint Realty is here to help. From saving your home from foreclosure to walking you through the process of becoming a first-time homeowner, Tayla makes real estate easy. With your best interests at heart, knowledge of the market, and a passion for people, Tayla is dedicated and motivated to serve you.
Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Tayla Andre, and I am determined and dedicated in assisting you in all of your real estate needs. Give me a call at 617-459-0041. Again, that number is 617-459-0041. Or you can email me at TAYLAANDRE@thumbprintrealty.com.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
You are enjoying the miracle of radio.
New England's #1 urban Caribbean music. Radio. Spark FM.
Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Tayla Andre. Waking up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. So today we are talking about celibacy, masturbation, taking vows of sex, not taking vows of no sex, but actually just having it happen of you not having sex on a regular basis, falling into long periods of abstinence. And what I wanted to talk about was the downsides of celibacy before we start talking about manifestation to masturbation. And so it may be challenging to engage in romantic relationships, especially if you don't want to have sex until marriage. I know there's a few people that I've met over the years who was not having sex until marriage. I don't know if that, followed through all the way to the end, but kudos to them for being able to do so. I don't know if you guys remember, we interviewed oh my gosh, I can see their face. And so they didn't kiss until their wedding day. And so he did not kiss her. He did not touch her. They did not touch each other. They just enjoyed each other's company. The Lindsays, that's what it is. And so Mr. and Mrs. Lindsay, he is a pastor. She's a motivational speaker. And their story is based on the fact that they did not kiss before marriage. And I thought that was absolutely beautiful. That doesn't happen often in life. And so when you think about like, oh, I don't want to have sex with my husband, like that's not realistic. Negroes is out here sleeping with other women. It's not every day that you will find someone, male or female, that's willing to date you for a long period of time and for you not to get the cookies. Like that is I laughed because I was in a video called The Cookies. Some might feel as though they're missing out on key life experiences such as marriage or children by eliminating or limiting sexual activities, and some might feel as though they are being judged for their feelings of isolation. And so I want to take a moment to give a huge shout out to Carrie Mays, who said that on her Facebook, she made mention to like the peer pressure of young people being forced to feel like they always have to have sex. And I absolutely hate it. Hold on. I am Carrie Mays, is Carrie. And when did she do this last night? Because I don't want to move her words around. I want to say her words exactly as she said them herself. Lord have mercy. Where you at, Carrie? Where you at? And she's absolutely amazing. I actually need to reach out to her so you guys can hear this powerful voice, because she is a force that will not be reckoned with. Like, she is out here. She is going to make changes whenever she runs for office. I am going to support every ounce of her because she don't play no games, and she be for the people, all the people. And I've watched her grow up for the last few years being a part of C-Plan. And I love her voice. I love how outspoken she is. Her poetry is amazing. And I'm not finding it, but basically she was just like, we are out here over sexualizing young kids. There's no reason why we should be shaming them for wanting to be celibate, shaming them for not wanting to, be sexually charged and engaged and dressing down, and why you don't dress like this, why you don't do that. And she was just like, stop over sexualizing these kids and just let them be kids. And so I have no idea where it is, but Carrie Mays, CarrieMays, absolutely amazing young lady. How to manifest anything using sexual energy. And so sex energy is one of the most powerful forces that we possess as physical manifestations of source energy. And it is absolutely amazing once you know how to tap into it. Have I done it Absolutely. Do I love it? Absolutely. Do I suggest it? Absolutely. And so steps to manifestation with sexual energy is to set out your goal. You can write it down, you can visualize it, or you can do both. So with visualization, you ensure that you have a very clear, detailed picture of your desire, complete with emotions and how you will feel when you achieve that goal. 2, you build up that energy. You hold off climaxing for as long as you possibly can. Don't masturbate for a week, for a month, or however long it is that you can hold out for. You can also do this with a partner. And so when you do feel the urge, a tingling, you close your eyes and you visualize whatever it is that you want. And so the bombest way to do it, okay? So you can do it like if you horny right now and you're like, yo, I'm about to like get my rocks off by myself, and you can go ahead and do it that way. Or you can go ahead and say, today I'm making the decision that I am going to utilize sexual energy, and for the next week, for the next 30 days, for the next 60 days, I'm not going to engage in sexual activity with myself or with other people. And then when I do have sex, this is what I'm focusing on. And so if you do feel the urge to have sex, that's when you go ahead and you close your eyes and you remember whatever it is that you're visualizing, whatever it is that you're manifesting, and you just put that in your head. And you know, soon your body will cool down a little bit. It'll stop tingling, and now you are good to go about your day. But then it happens again and again and again and again, and you continue like still hold that image in your head, still have an understanding of what it is the goal is. And then once you absorbed all of this, you will feel it. It will be like a bolt of lightning once you finally get it. Like you'll feel when it said like, listen, I'm done. I'm not saving it no more. Now is the time. I'm ready to release it to the universe. And so you choose a day to release. You be very deliberate about the day that you choose. Choose a day like a full moon or a waxing gibbous, which is energy at its peak during that time. If you're manifesting wealth and abundance, then a full moon is absolutely perfect, as it is divine feminine energy, and the abundance bringing feminine energy is abundance energy, which is full moon energy. And so you can focus on whatever it is to create the arousal. But when you get to the point of orgasm, when you're about to nut, that's when you go back thinking, what is it that we're manifesting? What is it that we're trying to create? And you just let it go and trust and believe that it is coming to you. And I am interested in how many people have engaged in such activities at any point in their life. And so I have a cousin that's trying to have a baby. And so they are doing manifestations, and they are like picking out names and what will he or she look like, and who would be the godmother, who would be the godfather, what outfits they would get, what would the nursery look like. And they did this for 2 months and then had sex. And so now we're waiting to see if they're pregnant. But this has been something that she was thinking about doing for a really long time, and is going to try out a few sessions. So it's not going to be just like a one-off. They're going to attempt to do it for a couple of her menstrual cycles. And she disclosed that the thing that makes... So first and foremost, you have to feel as if you're worthy of this thing that you're trying to create. So let me be clear. Don't close your eyes and think you're going to hit the lottery tomorrow when you know damn well you don't A, play the lottery, B, don't believe in the lottery, and C, don't believe you're worthy enough to win whatever it is that you are trying to manifest. Whatever it is that you're attempting to manifest, you have to know for a fact that it is yours to begin with, and you're just helping the universe bring it to you closer. And so to be clear, you have to have that relationship, you have to have that trust, and you have to be willing, ready, and able to work with source, universe, God, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, the sacred cows of India, whatever it is that you believe in. Faith without work is dead. So you definitely have to have the faith on top of the work. And so with that faith, she for many years has it been unable to conceive, and this is like the second relationship that she's been in, and she's been unable to conceive. So she does have that barrier and that block that doesn't allow her to freely believe, like, we're gonna go ahead and manifest, we're gonna have sex, and this baby gonna be here. It's just like, but what if something's wrong with me? And that has never been diagnosed, out of fear, for real, out of fear. But so that's why I say they're going to try a couple times. And that's why I say to you, don't think for 5 seconds that you're going to go ahead and manifest you winning the lottery and you don't truly believe that you can win the lottery. And then you're like, oh, it don't work. I ain't win the lottery. Well, you didn't even believe you could win the lottery in the first place. So sex magic really wasn't the problem. It was your mindset. And so I know and I accept the fact that not everybody believes it. I know and I accept the fact that not like everyone's going to engage, but just because you can't see electricity don't mean it's real. Doesn't mean it's fake. Just because you don't see energy doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And so to each its own. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I just got a text that I need to address. And so today is absolutely beautiful. There is something about today's energy that feels transformative. And so I desire for you, whatever transformation that you are praying for, that it comes into fruition and you are able to follow through on whatever it is that you are attempting to do. Motivational Monday all the way through Freaky Friday. I am Tayla Andre. Everything Tayla Andre, TaylaAndre.com. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing day. And we will be back Monday with Motivational Monday.
You are enjoying the miracle of radio.
New England's #1 urban Caribbean music. Radio. Spark FM.
Are you tired of renting and need more of your own space? Are you getting stressful letters or calls from the bank? Does your home require expensive repairs and you just don't have the funds to fix them? Regardless of whether you want to buy or sell, Tayla Andre of Thumbprint Realty is here to help. From saving your home from foreclosure to walking you through the process of becoming a first-time homeowner, Tayla makes real estate easy. With your best interests at heart, knowledge of the market, and a passion for people, Tayla is dedicated and motivated to serve you.
Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Tayla Andre, and I am determined and dedicated in assisting you in all of your real estate needs. Give me a call at 617-459-0041. Again, that number is 617-459-0041. Or you can email me at TaylaAndre@thumbprintrealty.com.